Okay, I was talking about some experiences I had with different medicines and places I was at and decided I would just record it for more people to hear. Um, Last year, I went to the Yucatan Peninsula to do some aquatherapy and learn with some like native people that live at the Lagoon of the Seven Colors down there. And there's also like thousands of cenotes, which are sweet water, or also known as like fresh water, beautiful, crystal clear, deep, like formations that happen that fill with water. And it's perfect for learning aquatherapy. And I went there to do that, and it was Tantra as well. So it was like a Tantra aquatherapy retreat. And then I studied with two local practitioners after that. And me and my partner at the time got to sit with a local shaman for San Pedro ceremony one night. He came and there was a fire, and it was really beautiful. And I would say that it's considered a grandfather energy because he's really gentle. Like it's like this old grandfather that's kind of like sits with you and like teaches you like gently some things you need to hear and learn. Um, and that is a cactus. It's a psychedelic cactus, kind of mescaline that's down there in that area. And he taught me so much in a way that I could actually uptake it, which I've done 5-MeO, and it's like blasting off for 20 minutes, and I just couldn't. And it was the chemically derived one instead of the one derived from the toad. So it's too abrupt, and I couldn't really like ingrain most of it. But sitting with something for a few hours during the night as a fire goes on, is crackling, he taught me that like my right side like shut down in pain. Not pain, actually. It just went numb. Like it was completely numb. I could barely even like move my arm. And I realized that I have like a lot of deep wounds with the masculine. And in general, like the left side is considered the feminine side, which is more like flowy and more going with earth and nature, and like twisting and turning, being more receptive and being more like surrendering to what's happening instead of resisting or needing to control it. And the masculine side is kind of structure and controlling, but it also creates kind of like a container for feminine to like blossom. So it's not all bad. It could be like really nice, but in my life, I've been such a tomboy, and I've been so dominating and controlling that like I get stuck working all the time, and my feminine side doesn't have any freedom to play or flow or create or, I don't know, relax. So she was pissed that like my masculine side wasn't this supportive divine masculine that creates this container, which we have it inside each of us, in different elements, different quantities. So my masculine side, instead of being the support structure for my feminine side, was instead just like strangling her until like she could hardly breathe for years and years and years and years. And she's like this creative beautiful side is just so closed down in me for so long that my system shut down pretty hardcore in 2018, and I didn't have any feelings or emotions for 8 months. And this was like what kind of triggered this is I was at a festival and I did ecstasy, and within 10 minutes I switched to this terrible feeling for 14 hours in my tent, which I've done ecstasy beautifully a few times in therapeutic ways with my partners. Maybe like 5 times, but this time, and I probably won't ever do it again, it made me realize that I was in a terrible way. Like it was the initiator that let me realize that I had a complete mental and emotional breakdown. And my feelings didn't return for like a year, but for 8 months I felt nothing. Like I didn't feel all my motivations, all my passions were gone. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I just, every day was just like blank. So then my body shut down for 2 months, and like I was in extreme pain. I couldn't bend over to like even go to the bathroom outside. I was like a wobbly old grandmother, and I really thought that was it for me. Until on New Year's in 2019, I was kind of given this choice to like waste away into nothing, aka just like die, or to learn to heal myself and spend the money and the time to like realize, like I realized that I am my best healer, and we all have this power to like heal ourselves if we give ourselves the time and space and love and permission to do it. Well, it was life or death for me. I chose like a full yes. I'm going to learn to heal myself. And this got me to where I am today. I'm at my beautiful house in Hawaii, and I'm just learning every day. So back to San Pedro, the night I sat with it, this side was completely numb, and this side was very active. Like I was like super like movie on this side. And what the funny thing was is I was sitting in the circle, and all to my left was females and all to my right was males. So to have this shutdown of this complete masculine side was just like an opportunity for me to let my feminine side like free for once, and just let her be and evolve and move and just like give her space. And I did this whole forgiveness ceremony like the whole night, where I was like did this conversation with my masculine side to like reclaim myself and reclaim like that I don't need to just work all the time, and that I can take time and space to heal and grow. And it was really beautiful. And then I sat with, about a year later, right when I got to the island, I sat with ayahuasca on a daytime sitting. And it was with the Santa Daime, which is a way that like, it's a kind of a way that medicine got into kind of Christianity, I think. It's because it was illegal. So it was part of a religious ceremony, which gave it some freedom. So it was like an in for it not to like be destroyed in our modern culture, which we're trying to destroy all of these ancient forms that cultures have been sitting with for thousands of years. And these plants have chemicals that perfectly match receptors in our body to allow great healing and great transformation. So I wouldn't recommend it though, because it was very Christian based, and I wanted to sit with grandmother ayahuasca and not have like Jesus be preached to me at the same time. So I left the group, which was a lot of loud music and Bible verses, and I sat in nature in Hawaii, and it was this grandmother energy, and she kind of is like takes no shit. She teaches you what you need to know. Like, and both times I've sat recently with San Pedro in Mexico and ayahuasca here in Hawaii, I prayed to have gentleness at the beginning of the initiation, because my nervous system is handled so much that it shuts down, like especially with loud abusive men in my life, emotionally and verbally abusive men, like 4 years with one and then 8 months with another. Like my system just can't handle. And when I was thinking of like how intense ayahuasca can be, I just prayed for gentleness with both of my sittings, and both of them, like, you attune to a certain attunement when you're sitting, and you can help with that attunement with your intentions at the beginning. So it was gentle, and I just channeled so many messages about trusting men. Because in that case, there was all these instances in my life, and it went through all of like I had memories of all of these times that men have really hurt me, like going back throughout my whole life. Like, and we're talking like terrible things, like, I don't know if I want to share any of them right now with you, but all these memories came back to me, and it made total sense to me why I had trust issues with men. And not just that, I had trust issues with myself, with my own capacity to trust my like intuition with men. So like I chose to be with these men, and I chose to kind of open myself up to these situations that really harmed me. So then I decided that I no longer can trust my own intuition about men and about people and about where I'm going or circumstances. So it was this whole unfolding of like me learning to trust myself again. And then I was given like all these beautiful memories of like more recently of how I have trusted men and I have trusted my own ability to let people in. And it's had beautiful results recently. Like, even sitting with ayahuasca, there's this man, Joshua, who lives at the retreat center near me. And I only had one day to prepare. But since I was already on a fruit diet, like, I didn't have to change anything. And I came into this, like, ayahuasca had never called me. You know, I was just waiting for grandmother ayahuasca to just call me. But it hadn't happened yet. And so this man that I just met said, hey, would you like to join the ceremony? I'm going to be one of the angels to like help guide you all. And I said yes. And I trusted him. And I trusted him to like be a guide. And it led me to this beautiful situation with all these beautiful realizations. So that was just one example of how I have regained my intuition. And female is like intuition. Your female side is like, you know, how you can trust the environment you're in. So here is a perfect example, and more came, of how like I do trust myself. I can trust men. I can trust the universe and like the way it unfolds, and I can trust, like, it was very beautiful. And even like I was like had insights about my family, like my mom, like I could see where she struggled and why she's in the places she's in and why the certain like things she gets stuck on. And I could see how me as a daughter can step in to like support her in these beautiful ways. Like I bought her a waterproof camera after that because she loves photography and that really lights her up. So like I did all this research after it, and I bought her this nice waterproof camera so she can see manatees in Florida. And then my dad, the same thing, and my brother, and I like had all these intuitions about like how I want to show up as a daughter and as a sister, and like how I want to help heal my family. It was so wonderful. And then me and my friends are talking about microdosing right now, and I had profound, beautiful experiences on my farm microdosing with 4 other women, and this was LSD, and it was just a tenth of a tab. Well, actually, we could only cut them into 9 pieces, so it was a ninth of a tab daily, for like maybe 4 or 5 days on and 2 days off, and we did it for 3 months, and I've never had so much information come to me in my entire life. Like, it was called epiphanies, and like we get really stuck, like our brains are like computers, and they get really stuck on patterns. So like we brush our teeth a certain way and we never question it. We do this a certain way and we never question it. So this was like all that patterning was broken up into like a whole world of possibilities, and I tried things differently for 3 months, and I like redid so much stuff. I learned so many interesting things, and I had so many epiphanies about like why I am the way I am, why I do what I do, like why when I do hurt people, like what is in me that causes me to like hurt others. And it was so insightful and gentle and beautiful. And to do it with a group of women on a farm living in community, we shared all of our things we were learning. And we also started to kind of communicate telepathically, to where like I'd be at the grocery store and I just like know I needed to get an avocado, and I wouldn't know why. And I just not question it. Like we could question it, and then our mind can come in and derail like spirit, but I just didn't question it. And I let spirit just let me pick up this avocado and put it in my cart. And when I'd get back to the farm, my friend would be like, hey, did you get the avocado? And I'm like, I got it. And she's like, great. I like sent it out there. I was like, it was crazy. And then more recently, I've produced the Stammet Stack microdosing like regimen for myself, and it wasn't as profound So I'll just do more on that maybe later. But I had like intuitions come in, and it was gentle. But yeah, on this video, I just wanted to share some of my more profound experiences with these substances, and also my warning about like some chemically derived stuff, and doing it when you're not called, or doing it when you're not in a ceremonial state with intention and with supportive people around you. Like some people try acid or mushrooms or ketamine when they're around people that maybe they don't fully trust, and they're at a party and they're not doing it with intention, and they can have an experience that they don't like and then stay away from it from the rest of their life. But nature is the best teacher. So if you can sit in nature all day and just take 8 hours to be in nature, maybe with 1 or 2 others, and meditate a lot, and do a bunch of intentions, and take the medicine in a ceremonial way, like putting out there what you're desiring, or leaving it kind of open, like just teach me what you need to teach me. I'm here. I'm ready. Please, be gentle, or just let whatever happens to unfold. And it's really some of the most profound things I've ever done in my life. And lastly, I did a year of Tantra where I was learning tantric practices, which was like a whole year of no substances. And sometimes you know that it's just not a time for you to do those kind of medicines. And through breath work and through meditation and through community and through these tantric practices, I have had many psychedelic experiences without the use of any substances. So that was my realizing. It's kind of like a doorway. I call these things like a doorway to something that you might have never experienced. And then once you've opened the door, you can get there with meditation and yoga and different other practices. And that's not always the case, but it is a very beautiful gift and medicine that's here on the earth to help people to transform their lives and like feel deeper, have more empathy, understand how they're affecting the world around them, and then say, how do I want to affect the world around me? And just redirect to maybe a more loving and a more emotionally available person. So that's what I have to share for this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. Here is just some of the plants in my beautiful house. This is my driveway. I keep making tea gardens and planting things and growing things. All right. Mahalo.